This is Late Night Health. This is the radio show that cares about the most important part of your life, your health. Hi, I'm Mark Allen, and along with the insane Daryl Wayne, we're going to spend the next 2 hours talking about health topics that reach out and touch each and every one of us. During hour 2, we are going to actually talk. During hour 2, we're going to be talking about a brand new app. It measures the speed of your sperm, guys. Why do you need this? Well, we're going to find out. That'll be in hour 2, and that'll be a live call from Israel, where they are at the bastion of the technology. Sperm's in the starting gate. It must be. We'll find out. I mean, I couldn't resist when they talked to me about that. Robert Clancy will wrap up our show today talking about angels as we get into the holiday time. And then in about 30 minutes from now, Jay-Z Knight is going to join us about the Blue Room experience. And it's a kind of a sensory deprivation tank that she is set up, and she's going to talk to us about it. Looking forward to that. All right, right now we go to Pasadena, California, and we're going to talk with Dr. Sam Alibrando, the author of The 3 Dimensions of Emotions, Finding the Balance of Power, Heart, and Mindfulness in All of Your Relationships. Dr. Sam, welcome to Late Night Health.
Nice to be here.
Let's talk about your 35 years of creating and developing a system designed for people to, well, I guess, get along, not only with others, but with themselves.
Right. I look at it as kind of a roadmap. It's tempting to look at it as a personality theory, but it really is a roadmap. It's based on the idea that there's 3 dimensions of the physical world, height, width, and depth, that there's 3 dimensions of the relationship world. And it's based on several different theories, which I won't bore you with, and also some empirical research, which is really nice to know that I'm not making this up. But the power, what I call the power dimension, is the height, similar to height, right? It has to do with our own agency and our own power as we affect our world and other people. Then there's the heart dimension, which has to do with our care about other people and our need for other people. And then there's the third, which is the depth, and that's the knowing dimension, or as I like to call it these days, mindfulness. And that each one of those dimensions can either be positive or negative. So you can imagine a good positive, and I use colors actually to not confuse people too much. The red is the power dimension, and blue is the heart dimension, and then yellow, the three primary colors, the 3 primary ways we move interpersonally.
All right, we're changing the color scheme around, okay? My mother-in-law would do that at my house.
Yes,
I figure
yes.
I have the right to do that on your book. So, red is power. Tell me what the power is.
Power has to. I'll give you the positive aspects of power and the negative aspects
Sure.
of power. The positive aspects of power are setting limits. It's getting what you need done. It's competing. It has to do with winning. It has to do with either asking for what we need, making sure we get things done. It's our agency in the world. In my first book, on the Yellow Brick Road, it was akin to Dorothy's lion. The lion represented the power dimension. He wanted to be king of the forest.
But he was a wuss.
He was a wuss because not in the original book, but in the movie, the scriptwriters made him into a wuss. But eventually, he found his courage.
Right. I don't remember. I remember reading Baum's book, but I don't remember it well enough because I must have been 8 years old.
Sure.
Right.
So, and the negative aspects of red or power is being mean. It's being selfish. It's being narcissistic, self-centered, being a bully. It's in that kind of negativity where you lord over other people without any of the balance of the other two. That's the real secret. The secret of what I call living in our sweet spot is balancing the 3 dimensions in all their positive. And that's where we find our sweet spot.
If we can, let's move forward to the holiday time. Christmas, Hanukkah is coming up, and the interactions of power at a family dinner, okay, have got to be, for a psychologist, a playground, because the interactions can drive people nuts.
Yeah, unless you're the psychologist sitting at the table. But if you're outside observing it, it is a playground.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and then all bets are off when you're inside. And that would be the case forever, right? But I think with the tenseness now in our country around the election and how difficult people are, how divergent, how split people are, it's even more intense. I am both an author and a business consultant, but I also have a clinical practice, and so many of my clients on either side have been trying to deal with this and how to deal with people who have different views.
And what's going to happen at a Christmas dinner, we're going to sit down, we're going to look at the turkey or the ham or latkes, if it's a Hanukkah celebration.
Yep.
And what's going to happen is that somebody's going to say, oh, I love Trump. Don't you think he's going to do great?
Yep.
Somebody else is going to say, he got robbed. He robbed the election. And there's going to be some kind of a confrontation.
Yep.
How do you avoid that?
Don't go. Stay home. Get sick or something like that. I think let me use the imagery or the model from the book, since I have the offer, and the trick would be balancing the three. So the wisdom is yellow. That's the moving away. That's the knowing. That's the mindfulness. And when all else fails, I say always go into mindfulness. If you don't know where to go into the mindfulness place. That's scarecrow, right? Where you think about what you're feeling rather than acting it out. Because the thing that's most at risk in those times is our reactivity. For some reason, this is cut beyond a rational discussion, right? For some reason, this election has gone down to the core of our being, and we go into what we call the limbic region of the brain, which is the emotional brain. When the emotional brain takes over, all bets are off. The rational thinking goes out the window. So if we start to get angry when Uncle Harry talks about whichever side of the argument he's on and you're on the other side, take a breath, go into the yellow, take a couple breaths and say, is this worth it?
Saying that to yourself.
Yeah, to ourselves. Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's the mindfulness piece where you back into that observing place and say, is this worth it or not? And you may say, no, it's not. There's no arguing with Uncle Harry.
And at the same time, you might, with the election not having happened now, somebody's always arguing about the turkey stuffing.
Right.
Or the sauce for the ham isn't the way it was last year. Who made it? Why didn't you follow the directions?
There's inevitably going to be one relative is going to be controlling outside of their own domain. And they're going to be making statements like that, right? I think the same thing would be true. And if you go into that yellow place, and we talked about that, where you observe what you're feeling rather than reacting, and say, is this worth it or not? And sometimes it is worth it, and you may want to do a healthy red then, a healthy power, which normally would be an I statement. In this case, if it's one of your cousins, Kim will call him or her. Cousin Kim saying, you know what, I'll take care of that. Why don't you go sit down and relax? I'll take care of that. Where you kind of assert yourself and try that if you can. And a lot of times this is experimenting.
We are dealing with family relationships at the holidays with Sam Alibrando. He is a assistant professor at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. He teaches executive coaching. He has a private practice, and he has a brand new book out, The 3 Dimensions of Emotions, Finding the Balance of Power, Heart, and Mindfulness in All of Your Relationships. You were somewhat facetious when you said you just don't go to a family event. But at the same time, the dynamics in family can really destroy an individual person.
Yes.
I mean, we all have, to a certain extent, what has become known as dysfunctional families.
Yep.
Is there anything normal? Do we have a functional family? Does that exist?
Well, I think there's degrees, and there's probably no such thing as a totally healthy family, and there's probably maybe no such thing as a totally dysfunctional family, although some could look pretty close like that. And the ones that are really, really toxic, my facetious comment actually is real and is a real suggestion. If it's truly toxic, then you may assert yourself and not give in. Unhealthy moving toward, or unhealthy blue, unhealthy heart are codependent people, and they will do whatever anybody else wants. They kind of resign themselves, and they give in, and they abdicate to other people.
And they also have terrible times at those family functions.
Awful times.
Awful times.
Yes.
We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we will continue our conversation with Dr. Sam Alibrando, the author of The 3 Dimensions of Emotions. I'm Mark Allen, along with the insane Daryl Wayne. We have a guest in our studio. One of the most creative, if not the most creative person I've ever met, Simon Balderas from Wonder Mouse Productions in Ventura, California. We've been working together for over 25 years. Off and on. Talk about dysfunctional. Join us at latenighthealth.com, latenighthealth.com, and Facebook is facebook.com/latenighthealth. More coming up. Don't go away. Late Night Health continues.
The experts at Web.com want to build your business a successful website for free, just like we did for these current Web.com customers.
We've looked at other website designers. There's nobody better than Web.com.
Web.com can build your website in as little as 7 days free. Plus, we'll promote it on all the major search engines. If after 30 days you're happy, we'll continue to provide promotion, hosting, support, and maintenance, all for one low monthly fee. If not, cancel and pay nothing.
If you're in business and you don't have a web presence, you won't be taken seriously.
Call right now and you'll also get a free .com or .net domain name for your new website, powered by VeriSign, the world's leading domain name provider.
No upfront charge for site build, after which ongoing fees apply. Rights to site are relinquished when canceled. Domain included during active service, after which fees apply.
800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. 800-489-8751. That's 800-489-8751. Attention users of the blood-thinning drug Xarelto. If you took the drug Xarelto and experienced complications such as cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, you may be eligible to get a cash award for your suffering. Call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 1-800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150. To qualify for a cash settlement, you must file a claim before the deadline, so don't miss your opportunity for a cash settlement. Call 800-264-3150 now for a free, no-obligation consultation. Our call center is open 24/7. So if you took the drug Xarelto and experienced cerebral hemorrhage, gastrointestinal bleeding, or other internal bleeding, or if a loved one has died after taking Xarelto, call the Xarelto Help Hotline now at 800-264-3150. 800-264-3150. That's 800-264-3150.